invasion.
You've said
you
that
have the mayor
several
of Chicago
times, Stephen. We have a limited amount of time, so let me ask you. Let me ask you about the governor of Illinois. Let me ask you about the governor of Illinois.
Laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown.
Lex Luthor-looking gremlin Nazi cuck and White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller is getting figuratively roasted alive right now.
They think they're tough. They have no idea how tough we are. They think that they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are.
What a fucking loser.
Which is fitting given how mad he is that his violent MAGA cultists are getting blamed for a liberal judge's house burning down with her family inside. Steve Harness is actually covering this story, so I'll link to that video when it's up. But it wasn't only comedian John Oliver who clowned on Miller and his fascist followers, because Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez threw her hat in the ring in multiple now viral videos on her Instagram, where she destroyed the short troll Stephen Miller and encouraged us all to do something we've been doing here at Really American since day one, laughing at insecure, pathetic MAGA men.
And one of the best ways that you can dismantle a movement of insecure men is by making fun of them.
And I'd like to share all of these epic takedowns with you now. Real quick though, this video is in partnership with our sister channel, US Democratic Socialists, where we cover even more progressive news stories. So if you're new to either channel and dig the content, consider dropping a like and subscribing to join our growing resistance. And make sure you stick around to the end, because she didn't only roast his ass, but also spoke powerfully about the importance of the resistance that we're building here.
You know, the mistake that I made, and I made this early on, from all the movies that we see growing up about heroes and villains, is that I thought that fascist takeover attempts were going to be architected by evil geniuses. And I was not expecting how unearned, nepotistic, mediocre, and just dumb so many of the people architecting this were going to be. And it works because of brute force. Like, you can do anything through brute force, but it's not sophisticated and it does not merit my intellectual respect. That's my thought of the day.
Threatening military action against your own people is alarming, especially given we've already seen troops deployed to LA and DC this year, and Trump has now ordered similar deployments to Portland and Memphis. In fact, the day after that speech, Hegseth went to Memphis and stood behind Stephen Miller as he bragged about a ramped-up federal presence there in a speech that I'm sure sounded tough in his head.
You know, the gangbangers that you deal with, they think that they're ruthless. They have no idea how ruthless we are. They think they're tough. They have no idea how tough we are. They think that they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are.
What a fucking loser. And I've got to say, at this point, white supremacists just have to be embarrassed, right? This is your champion right here? A man who looks like he still has a soft spot on his skull?
But then AOC doubled down on Miller very specifically in over an hour-long Instagram live that she gave yesterday, which I've cut down for you here.
The point is that they are scrapping and grasping at straws because they have nothing else. Laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown. I've never seen that guy in real life, but he looks like he's like 4'10", and he looks like he is angry about the fact that he's 4'10". And he looks like he is so mad that he is 4'10", that he's taking that anger out at any other population possible. Like, laugh at them. Laugh at them. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, we're here to be strong for one another. We need to expose the lies. We need to never let off the gas when it comes to protecting one another, exposing the lies, documenting things. We're seeing this too, right? And so I think this is just I think it's very important to be able to hold multiple things at once. And we've seen this work in other cultures. We've seen this work in other countries. Yes, the resistance to authoritarianism is very real. The risks of abuse of power are very real. But one of the most powerful cultural things that you can do to a political movement that is predicated on the puffery of insecure masculinity. That's what this is about. This isn't, people talk about toxic masculinity, more than it, like, let's put that to the side for just 1 second. This is about insecure masculinity. And one of the best ways that you can dismantle a movement of insecure men is by making fun of them. By having secure men who aren't afraid of successful people around them, who are good dads, who have strong values, also participating in that as well.
And again, it's also fitting because, as you saw briefly at the top of the show, Miller is currently on CNN lashing out after being confronted about the domestic war crimes and human rights violations that his Gestapo is committing.
Stephen, we're set to hear from J.B. Pritzker in just moments. He says that you're attempting to inflame tensions and create a war zone. He also says that you are profiling, that you're targeting black and brown people, even those who turn out to be here legally. What's your response?
Well, first of all, the black people in Chicago are thrilled that we're getting the illegal aliens out of their communities who are stealing their housing, jobs, and resources. You've seen the video of the town halls during the Biden administration where black citizens who are natives of Chicago were begging to have the illegals taken out of their country. American citizens. If an American citizen, for example, commits a crime of sexual predation against a child, they'll cooperate with the FBI. If an illegal alien commits a crime of sexual predation against a child, that illegal alien will be shielded in an ICE no-go zone.
Oh, your fucking Republican ass is one to talk, Stephen Miller. And where I'll end this is with AOC's powerful ending of her Instagram Live. She empowered people like we've done here for a long time to continue to speak up no matter how small it may seem.
And so in terms of helping, there is like bearing witness and sharing what is the truth is very important to debunking these things that they're constantly circulating. And then of course there's like the real tangible things that you can do in terms of ensuring that the people around you know that they are safe with you, in building community, in looking out for each other. You know, people think this stuff is like corny or insignificant, but when you start to do this in mass, it starts to build up the conditions for larger forms of resistance, and it also makes larger forms of resistance more likely because people feel less alone. And so, yes, organizing digitally and just like speaking your mind digitally is important, because I'm sure some of you have had moments lately where you saw someone post something online, even if it was like an influencer or something like that you follow, and you're like, whoa, I didn't know they were like that. And you know, that it's not about arguing with people, but making and asserting your values in a time like this and in an environment like this is absolutely an act of courage. And I would encourage, it doesn't have to be preachy. It doesn't have to be, you know, obnoxious, but letting your values be known is very powerful, because people are persuaded. Oftentimes the things that persuade people is not just about facts or policy, as much as some people would love that to be, but it's also about psychology and community. And it is hard sometimes for people to speak up if they feel like they will be alone, if they feel like they will be endangered, if they feel like they will be vulnerable. And so every time a person kind of makes themselves known, it makes it easier for other people to be known.
And I agree wholeheartedly, because when we don't do this, when we don't fight back, then we allow Nazi racist, stupider Lex Luthor to yell over us like this.
Is it the case that, as Pritzker frames it, you are profiling brown people, that this immigration crackdown is designed to go after people of color?
It's such a, oh, what a dumb question.
Fuck that guy from the bottom of my heart. I hope he rots in hell, and I can't wait to see the day he gets his own fucking Nuremberg trials. Thanks for watching, folks. Help us fight these domestic terrorists and join our anti-fascist resistance by dropping a like and subscribing if you appreciate the work here, and check out our U.S. Democratic Socialist channel. For Really American and USDS, I am Kenny Hesse, and I will see you all in the next one.